at the blessings. Highest breast cancer rates, highest cancer rates, women reporting they're more depressed than ever. But till they're about 40, they like running around having a good time. The men are like animals, dumbed down, acting like 5-year-old boys. They enjoy it. I'm going to break this down. It's simple, but it's also complex. And it is the collapse of society. And you're going to be euthanized, and no one's going to be there to protect you. And the young people, there's not going to be as many young as there are old. That's already starting, the upside-down paradigm. You're not going to have your Social Security in the future paid. You're going to be euthanized. That's the official plan. And the yuppies that are younger out partying are going to kill that ugly old person. And, of course, you were that young person 40 years earlier saying, kill that old person. And clapping when Bill Gates said, you don't give grandma treatment. You hire 10 teachers. And they were like, oh, you got a psycho demon up there teaching you we kill people and you get stuff. As if you're going to get jack squat from that psycho. Taking over education, Monsanto, everything. Weather weapons. He's financing all that. Bioweapons, everything. And then people say, well, why didn't he have you killed things you're talking about? Because everybody knows now. It's out of the bag. And Bill Gates doesn't act like that. He does it all through procedures and all through committees, and they all doll everything up and shield it so that only a very few people actually have knowledge of what's being added as Trojan horses to the GMO and the vaccines. And the mosquitoes they're already releasing in Florida and areas of Africa. You see how that works? It's plausible deniability. They do it through the system. The ultimate in cowardly tyranny. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm digressing. Let me continue. Slain border agent's family files lawsuit against Fast and Furious. In Fast and Furious scandal, one of the people murdered by the guns, shipped to Mexico by the criminal narcotics trafficking mafia that runs things. Oh, and there's a Daily Caller article. It's coming out that the Justice Department prosecutors are paid off by big banks and Cayman Islands, and they've got witnesses, and it's just like Corzine stealing and getting caught perjuring, and nothing can be done because they're all crooks now. And because the army and police will follow orders, can do anything, like Hitler. See, we're now at that point where the criminals have tested everybody, they've got their people in everywhere, and they think they can do anything. Anything. Okay, so if you're watching on Prisonplanet.tv, you can see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 stacks of news. And some of these stacks are 5 stories deep. Others are about 20 stories deep. And I generally get to about half of this on air every day. In the old days, back when I was doing talk radio like 10 years ago, I was actually more disciplined. I would actually cover everything. But I want to go back into a lot of these, and it's almost like I'm a dog in a butcher shop. I can't decide which one to get into, because once I get into one article, I'll tend to run down a rabbit trail. And obviously, folks like that because the show is very popular and gaining affiliates and getting top ratings, but it's just into the brain of Alex Jones here. I'm trying to discipline myself. So let me just start on the right-hand side here again to try to give you just, the top stack headline. And it all just gets more insane. Every day, this is every day, and there's just endless amount. People's like, wow, how do you dig all this up? Dig it all up, it's just pouring out in the open. Reactor in California releasing a bunch of radiation. Of course, they had that salt reactor blow up in the 50s and radiate bigger than Chernobyl and cover it up. See, everything's always connected. That's why I can't read you one article. You've got more radiation, more meltdowns at Fukushima. That's in that stack. We've got the family almost completely gone, and then what's left of it under attack in the culture and the media. We've got slain border agent's family files lawsuit in Fast and Furious scandal, and Holder involved in all sorts of corruption. Bill introduced to challenge authority of NDAA. Other Congress people now go public against it, not just Ron Paul, the secret arrest provisions. Microsoft buys eugenics technology from Merck. Vaccines that sterilize you, ultrasound where you get your welfare payment if they hit your, what's with the ultrasound to kill your sperm. Just total rollout by Microsoft with that. Diminishment of sovereignty and more Fed manipulations, Big Bob Chapman article. Moving right along here. Cameron fleeing America to escape collapse. or all these reports about how they may release a super flu that kills over 90% of those that come in contact with it, or take your pick, Ebola. He's a big globalist, reduce the population insider. Oh, yeah. And Cameron is bye-bye to New Zealand out at the middle of nowhere. We'll be getting into that detailed report by Paul Watson and Alex Jones. Continuing here, sugar should be regulated like alcohol, tobacco. And that's what CBS News, ABC News, and the federal government are saying. Now, let me explain how this works. Aspartame chemical weapon, you can have that. Bisphenol A in the plastic lining, your TV dinners and your Coke cans and everything, on record increasing cancer and reducing fertility in men, hyperfeminizing women, early onset of puberty in women, suppressing puberty in boys. Just go check it out for yourself. It's an admitted fact, not debatable. Just like the aspartame and the fluoride and all of it, which the globalists then have public documents about how they do it on purpose. It's not just like, oh, look, they talk about how they want to kill us all day, and then they own the companies and the big medical systems that make money off this. Boy, it's obvious they're doing it. They even talk about how they're doing it to us. The White House science czar says, you know, we put stuff in your water and food to sterilize you. And they're doing it. They're doing it. They're doing it. And, of course, who can't have the kids? It's the yuppies who take all the shots and wait till they're 35 to have kids. All right, continuing. Sugar should be regulated like alcohol, tobacco. So, see, let's blame regular sugar for everything. When people, I've looked at the statistics, ate more sugar in the 1950s. We've had guests on about this than they do now. What do we have now, though? MSG, aspartame, bisphenol A, and all this other garbage that's directly linked to pancreatic cancer and type 1, 2, and 3 diabetes. It's off the charts. All of it. So what are they going to do? They're going to come in and regulate natural, healthy fats. They're going to come in and regulate sugar. This is how the globalists do it. And they have the pediatric associations. They have saying, give your baby Pedialyte with the aspartame in it. Don't give your kid sugar. I mean, sugar, a lot of sugar isn't great either, but, I mean, this is really bad. It's like saying, you know, don't slap your child, hack their head with a battle axe. Hack them 45 times in the head with a battle axe. Don't slap them. See, they always create the crisis, offer the solution, regulating and taxing everything. Got that? Israel's head of military intelligence has come out saying Iran has uranium for 4 nuclear bombs. But it's like all the headlines in the West. It's misleading. Let's just be, they have enough if they could ever refine it, but it's not refined. I mean, that's like saying, you know, that the hospitals in America have enough radioactive material to make a nuke. Well, yeah, but you can't make it with it because you can't purify it. Okay, I haven't even gotten into the top news. I'm just going from right to left here. I've got all this other stuff. Oh, my goodness. Got a big juicy drudge link on naked body scanners at the Super Bowl. That's right. Training you how to be a slave. Training your child that pedophiles grab your genitals. Everybody like cancer? We'll be right back.
We're on the march.
Wire. Come on, baby. Take a chance with me. Come on, America. And the rest of the world, wake up. Get angry. See the prison being built around you by a bunch of control freaks that want to keep you in the dark and turn you into a little biological android to serve them while they get their robot armies and drone armies ready for you. All right. Speaking of that, trolls always come up with new ridiculous ways to attack Infowars.com, Prisonplanet.com, you name it. But I've seen this new thing going. It's ridiculous. There's going to be huge fleets of drones that are AI, artificially intelligent, over our cities and blimps that are surveilling us, and that there's going to be surveillance robots on the ground. This guy's nuts. And maybe they're not trolls. I just kind of saw that meme pop up here and there just as I was scanning over news and seeing comments on YouTube and things when I comment on this. And I think that's just because a lot of people, well, they still think I'm lying about many GMO foods you eat have multiple insect genes in them. They grow their own pesticide. People don't know that they've got corn that grows live HIV in it. I mean, you name it. There's thousands of pharmacological crops growing openly, blowing into all the other similar species. So there's a lot of that mutations going on. They've got reports here in Texas confirmed where corn is growing out of the side of oak trees. I mean, it's just jumping species. Whoa. And I understand uninformed people that don't study science, who don't, stay up till 2 in the morning last night reading government documents. You just think I'm making that up. I understand that. I mean, I've been on syndicated radio shows many times and said, well, D.C., Salt Lake City, Dallas, Texas, other areas have at about 120,000 feet Department of Defense giant blimps that are unmanned, bigger than the Goodyear blimp, because they're cheaper than satellites, with ground-penetrating radar, face scanning, heat resonance scanning. They know your heat resonance fingerprint, off the biometric print off the top of your head and shoulders. But when you look up, they can get a face scan as well. They've got a biometric print off your walk. I mean, I saw it when Alexander Haig got the funding in 1993. I was watching him on a science program he had that they syndicated to channels, bragging. And it turns out the company he started got bought by another, and they launched a bunch of these before 9/11, and they launched even more. Now, you could just type in Homeland Security blimps, and you'll get MSNBC, ABC News, but still, they launch them, and then you barely can see them up there, even on a clear day, because they're right at the edge of the atmosphere. And they've got solar power, and they run off propellers. And when they do see them now, I have ABC, and I've played it. ABC says they believe it's aliens over Salt Lake. And it's a big silver blimp with propellers and equipment hanging off the bottom. And they tell the public it's an alien on ABC News. They launched a big one over Dallas 4 years ago. Remember, and Larry King was freaking out on CNN. People are seeing an alien cigar-shaped thing that looks like it's the size of 2 football fields. It was a stinking blimp. I saw it on the news. It's a blimp. It's a blimp. I'm not the conspiracy theorist. Guys, type in Homeland Security launching surveillance blimps. It's 2004. Is an MSNBC that shows them launching one from D.C. I mean, it gets really old. It's not a flying saucer. It's got stinking propellers on it. Nobody came here from Alpha Centauris with propellers on it. I don't want to explain that to people, but propellers aren't going to work in space, okay? All right. A blimp's not going to go through the atmosphere. It is the unmitigated ignorance of the public blows my mind sometimes. But here is some of the articles right here. Armed robots pushed to police, Wired magazine. Shotguns, grenade launchers, and it gets into, I dug back up the articles where they've got little spider droids that go in your house, and they can weaponize those when they're exploding or surveil you. And it goes on to say Department of Defense developed robots, or now the police are getting them. That's out of Wired magazine. Here's defense.update.com. TACCOM to test new robot for checkpoints, support development of advanced robotic controls. They got all sorts of robots for the checkpoints they're setting up. They're testing them in Iraq and Afghanistan. I mean, just type in robots, security robots, checkpoints. The Japanese are testing them. Okay, I'm sorry, it's real. There it is, UFO blimp, ABC News. And they say it must be a flying saucer, and the aliens must fly blimps. No, it's a Department of Defense giant blimp, okay? I'm showing it if you're watching on Prisonplanet.tv. That's good that you found the video, but just I want to show them the news article where they, before they launched them, they admitted what they were. Just type in Homeland Security blimps, MSNBC.com. Okay. All right, continuing. I got about 20 articles here on this. Here's LA Times. May I heard of them? New drone has no pilot anywhere. So who's accountable? Autonomous killing already going on. Looks like something out of Buck Rogers.